Welcome back to another video tutorial brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. Today we're going to be drawing an eye with graphite. I like to start, this is going to be a person's left eye, by the way. That means if you're looking at them, it's on the right side of their head. I draw a line that goes up kind of quickly and then kind of gently goes down on the back side. An eye is not really an oval shape, it's not a football shape, it's its own shape. So I'm making that shape right now. And the bottom part of the eye is kind of just a really flattened U. It's more of a straighter line than the top part of the eye. Then I'm going to draw the iris and pupil area. Remember, this is a circle inside of the space. You also want to make sure that the line is touched at the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to plan out a couple highlight areas. So I'm going to draw a couple small circles on the inside of that. Then I'm going to draw the shape for the pupil. And the shape for the pupil, of course, is a circle. And I'm going to make sure that I kind of stay away from those highlighted areas that I've set aside. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my graphite and bear down really hard and make that pupil as dark as I can get the material. This is going to be the blackest or darkest part of the eye. So I can go ahead and fill that in. I'm going to stay away from the highlighted areas, though, because that's going to make our eye look like it's wet and more realistic. So I'll stay away from those, fill in the pupil, and there we go. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside and draw the iris. And I'm going to do that by creating some lines that come out from the center of the pupil. So I'm adding my value with lines that kind of come out. All eyes kind of have this pattern to them. Darker eyes, it's a little bit harder to see. Lighter eyes, it's a little bit easier to see. So this is how we're going to add the value inside of the iris. You always want to think about what direction your lines go in. Don't just haphazardly make lines when adding value. Usually you're thinking about the cross contours of the object that you're drawing. And in this case, I'm just trying to think of the lines that are created on the inside part of the eye anyway. Alright, once we got a nice base value down, I'll go back and I'm going to kind of highlight the ring that goes around the outside part of the iris. And most eyes have this darker ring around it. Then I'm going to go on the inside and I'm going to make those lines a little bit more accentuated where they come out from the center. It's almost kind of a star shape that comes out from the center. So I'm going to make my value a little bit darker, but I'm keeping in line with the lines that I made for the iris when I added the value there. There's all kinds of interesting patterns and stuff that happen inside of a person's iris. Right now we're just kind of making a generic pattern. It's more of a star-like pattern from the center. I could spend a lot of time with the patterns in this eye, but because of the length of the video, I'm going to go ahead and move on here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a tear duct on the inside corner of the eye, and a tear duct is just going to be a little organic shape. I'll add a little bit of value to that to make it look a little bit more realistic. Now the eyeball is actually a round sphere inside of the orbital lobe, so in order to indicate that, we're going to put a little bit of value in the corner on each side of the eye. It's going to be darkest closest to the corner, and it'll slowly get lighter the closer to the center it goes. I'm also going to think about my eyelid that overlaps my eyeball, and because it overlaps that, there's going to be a little bit of a cast shadow that's cast on the eyeball itself from the eyelid. So I'm going to go in right underneath that first line that I drew and add a little bit of value to that to indicate that shadow that happens right underneath the eyelid. Now only on the top, don't do it on the bottom. Alright, then I'm ready to do the top line of my eyelid to make it look a little bit more realistic. And this line usually comes up and is close at the beginning and kind of fades out away from the eye the further it goes out. Also, that line is a little bit stronger and heavier when you start it, and it kind of fades out to a lighter line. Alright, eyelashes are next, and eyelashes are a place where a lot of people mess up, but if you follow this simple rule, you won't mess up. If you basically break your eye down into 4 sections, the top right hand corner is 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. Section 1, your eyelashes are going to go up and out like that. Section 2, down and up like that. Section 3, up and down, and section 4, up and down. Alright, this is going to be the end of part 1. Join us for part 2.